heads of agencies, the executive director and board of Rainbow, revered paramount chiefs and religious leaders, development partners, civil society and NGOs, our survivors and youth champions, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is actually quite inspiring to be here and to speak after everything that we've witnessed, from all the technical experts, from all the people whose voices matter, and from all the people who often don't get to speak, like the survivors. When they speak, it's in rooms that are usually dark, it's in fear of their lives, and it is with lack of hope about what their future promises. But today, as we stand here and speak together with one voice, we're committed to making Sierra Leone a place that is end of violence against women and girls. Today is also a testament of the progress that we have made as a people. It is a testament of what impact is. And while I'm here to launch this program, I really want to reflect on the kinds of impact that we have made as a people and as a country. Earlier this morning, many of us were in the room when the President launched a $180 million program for water and sanitation in partnership with the World Bank. And this afternoon, I'm here representing the government to launch a $15 million program, a €15 million program to launch the Spotlight Initiative in partnership with the European Union and the United Nations. And as I was reflecting on what my very able technical people wrote for me, I realized that the true thing that matters is for us as a people to reflect on where we've come from, on our path of progress, on our path of prosperity, and on our path of making our country a safe space for girls and women. That we can live in a country where in the morning, through great partnership with our partners in the World Bank, the President can launch a 10-year program that centers as one of its major components gender and inclusion. And in the afternoon, we also sit here with different partners to focus squarely on women and on girls. For me, these things are essentially what make me believe, and I hope that by the end of my talk, we can all believe what I fundamentally go to bed every night thinking and wake up in the morning, that I know that we will deliver for Sierra Leone because we are absolutely working together to deliver right now, because we are delivering. And it may often seem like, yes, it's just political talk. But it is not political talk when we hear about Rainbow Initiative's effort with the ministry to secure land in Falaba. It is not political initiative when the government of Sierra Leone spends money to make a road to Limbaya and Falaba such that it is easier for a woman to make their way to a referral hospital. It is not political when the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education develops a comprehensive sexual and reproductive health curriculum that it rolls out in schools. It is not political, or rather, it is not political rhetoric when the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs pioneers a progressive Child Rights Act, which protects girls, which empowers and enables institutions like the National Commission for Children. It is critical to understand that when the government of Sierra Leone under the leadership of President Julius Maada goes from a ban on rape to a gender equality and women's empowerment bill to an updated sexual, what's the law called?
Offenses Act.
The Sexual Offences Act. It is important that we understand that a component in this initiative focused on laws and policies is something that the government is working on. So I believe that we will deliver because we have delivered the radical inclusion policy. I believe that we will deliver because we have deployed toll-free lines that hundreds and thousands of girls are using annually. I believe that we will deliver because the Chief Justice has a special court for sexual offenses. I believe that we will deliver because the government of Sierra Leone, through the Ministry of Health, has reduced maternal mortality by 80% in the last 10 years. I believe that we will deliver because we have opened new facilities for training midwives in this country. So when Chatham and Rainbow tell me that they are going to train people in how to deliver services for survivors, of course I believe that together we will deliver, because they have already done it. So we're here really to speak to the impact of what we have been doing. Legislative progresses, strengthening of the institutions that we have, figuring out our public service architecture delivery is embodied in how we got to where we are today. It is not random that a representative from the National Council of Paramount Chiefs is here. It is not random that a major implementation partner of this program is an NGO and a CSO. It is not random that the government of Sierra Leone, through the entities that are involved, are all here represented to support and supervise this initiative. And it is certainly not random that the United Nations and the EU works together to launch and deploy a project that has had already tremendous impact on the world. You know, I'll start with a small story. When Ms. White mentioned that this program started a year ago, I smiled because it didn't start a year ago. In 2017, at the global launch of the Spotlight Initiative at the UN, the chairman of that program was a young man at the time, Minister Chernobah, who was an activist from Sierra Leone, who today serves as a minister of this government. And I was reflecting, as I sat there, I looked through my email, and in 2021, I had it wasn't a random email, but I had an email from this gentleman called Minister Chernobah, at the time an activist, saying, hey David, I've been talking to some people in Spotlight Initiative. They want to see how we can support them to advocate and lobby to the EU and the UN so Sierra Leone can be included. And I remember engaging and meeting with those people in 2021. I remember working with the UN to ensure that when we were at UNESCO talking about Education Plus, that when we were at the UNGA having whatever side meetings we were having, that we will lobby and engage with the EU such that Sierra Leone can be one of the 4 countries in this new program that they have launched. And in 2024, when it was signed to where we are today, tremendous work has already been done. So Ms. White, it didn't start a year ago, it started many, many, many years ago. And it is these things that make me believe that every one of those objectives that you list, we will deliver on them over the next 4 years. Now, for us as a people, for us as a government, it is often also seen that civil society can be perhaps for non-democratic leaders annoying. But we welcome civil society. We applaud and support civil society. We're working side by side with our NGO partners because government cannot go everywhere. Because government cannot see everything. Because government in many ways can also not be activists. And yet, we want these movements of activists who will help us deliver on the things that we do. Yes, government deliver and deploy the radical inclusion policy, but government cannot lead the radical inclusion movement. It is citizens and Sierra Leoneans who are scattered everywhere, who are working every day to ensure that for the Spotlight Initiative, the first keyword in the Spotlight Initiative when you open their website is leaving no one behind. And that's why supporting the movement for women, of men supporters, is critical and is a component to why we're all here today. The UNDP, the UNFPA, UNICEF, UN Women, Rainbow Initiative, and the many, many other state institutions, the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs, MOH, Social Welfare, FSU, the courts, and the many, many institutions all have to work together to ensure that we end violence against women and girls in our country. As I sat there, when we say violence, people often think only sexual violence. But the level, the depth, the breadth of violence against girls and children is so immense that until we sit again, reflect, pause, and think about the many times we tell girls to not put their hands up, the many times we tell girls to go to the kitchen to cook and serve and clear the plates when boys are sitting, hanging out with their parents, the many times we tell girls that they cannot be military officers or they cannot be in government because mamikos in our government, the many times people cause mamikos so that women do not go in our government, the many times then they cause woman, call and slut or tell her say sleep with that person there so that they will silence them. All those many times are part of the violent, misogynistic culture that we must break. Yes, I am a proud feminist. Yes, I am a he for she champion. And yes, I am radically inclusive. It means when the UN reaches out to say, I think it will be a really good idea for the government of Sierra Leone, with you as the coordinating minister, to co-chair with us as the UN and the UN country team, of course we will say yes, because our objectives are the same. The National Development Plan. And the National Development Plan didn't come out of nothing by itself. The National Development Plan stemmed from the SDGs. And the SDGs are what unites us as nations and as a united nation and as a people of this planet. So together we stand to end violence against women and girls in Sierra Leone. And as I started in the beginning of my talk, we will deliver. I know this because together we are delivering for the people of Sierra Leone.